Hi everybody, thanks for tuning back in. Today on the channel, we're going to be taking a look at the Mythic Legions Lady Avarona. If Saturday morning cartoons fueled your imagination as a kid and powers your action figure collecting now as an adult, then you're in the right place. Thanks for stopping by and welcome to Saturday Morning Toy Collector. And if you like my content, please consider subscribing. Alright, here we have Lady Avarona in her packaging. Of course, you guys have seen Mythic Legions packaging before. They're very user-friendly. You just pop the clamshell off, slide the back down, remove the figure, play with it, display it, do whatever you want, and then you can put it all back in there. Here, taking a look at the package, you do have the big Mythic Legions logo on the front. You can see Lady Avarona there, her big axe weapon right there, and a baggie in the back with all of her extra stuff in it. Here on the side it says, the Avarona family was once among the most powerful in the realm. During the First Great War, the family refused to join the Legions of Light, believing that they would lose the battle after the defeat of the Dark Four. The traitorous Avaronas were stripped of their station and banished from Lindor. Since that time, the Avaronas have worked diligently to regain their influence. This tireless pursuit has led them to align now with the Legion of Erethyr. The youngest daughter of the family, Lady Avarona, is the cruelest by far. While the rest of the family are focused on reestablishing their power, she is driven purely by a hunger to take revenge on those who disgraced her family. So not necessarily a good gal here. She is on the side of the bad, and you can tell that by her eyes, the darkness in her eyes. Flipping around here on the back, we do have cross sale, and we did take a look at Dubon last week, and if you missed that that review, you can check it out right there. So let's get her opened up out of the package and see everything that she comes with. Okay, here we have Lady Avarona opened up out of the package, and you can see everything she comes with. She comes with 2 shoulder pauldrons, 2 belts, the old style and the new style, a big bladed axe style weapon, a curved scimitar style sword, and a shield. Just taking a look at each one of these individually, it's a really nice shield. I really like the way this looks. I got like some scuffing right here. I don't know where that came from or if that's some sort of paint rub. Looks like, yeah, most of it came off. But I love that it's, this steel look with this burgundy color and these bronze rivets. And it sort of matches the color a little bit to the color of her robes. We have the scimitar style weapon, nice little handle with the rivet right there on the tip, painted gold and burgundy, gold pommel, and quite pointy on that end. We've seen this axe before. I believe it's more of like an elven. We've seen this in the elven waves and the vampire waves, but it's just silver and black and it looks nice. I think I would have liked if this bottom part had been painted silver as well, but that just is what it is. And of course, the old style belts. You have the old style right here, and then the newer style that has got a little bit of detail sculpted onto it, painted buckles there, and a little rivet right there, and then another little rivet and a buckle right there, and then some sculpted filigree work and a nice wash to it. It's got some black wash over it and looks really nice. And of course her 2 shoulder pauldrons, which match her armor. So getting all of this stuff out of the way, let's take a closer look at Lady Avarona herself, starting with her head sculpt. Her faceplate is movable. You can move it all the way back around if you'd like, all the way down. So you can have different looks for her face. Hopefully you can see this pretty well on the head sculpt, but there is some dark shading around her eyes, some gray paint, and then her eyes are just painted bright red. Hoping that's kind of coming across on camera. But you can put her faceplate down to where her eyes are revealed. You can cover up most of her face completely like that. You can have it to where her eyes are covered and her mouth and nose are revealed. You have some options there for the head sculpt. You have this nice burgundy chest plate armor, which looks really nice. This new style belt that comes on her with a nice little silver ribbon right there on the strap and on the front piece. Going around the back, you can see that there's some extra pockets and little rivets right there on that. So this looks nice, and then you can tuck something in there if you need to. But of course, this is a separate piece and you can remove it all together. She does come with 2 styles of her tabard that hangs down in the front. So you can have this rubbery piece, or you can have this soft goods with the wire that's posable, and you can have it blowing in the wind. You can take one off, take them both off, leave one on, leave them both on, take them both off, whatever you want to do. You've got options. So let's see what that actually looks like when you go to remove this. She should just pop apart right here at the waist, and she does. And then you can pull the belt and her skirt armor off. This soft goods piece just wraps over that, but you actually could remove this piece altogether, slip this back on, slip her lower greaves body armor back on her little side skirts, and then pop the belt back on. I really like that belt. It adds a lot of depth and layering to the lower half, and then pop that back on. And I think we'll probably leave this piece off for the rest of the review and just go with the soft goods piece, because I think they match the colors pretty well. Oh, that was not connected. Let's get that popped back on there really well. There we go. It's in there good now. Going over some of the sculpt work on her right here, you can see she has some nice little metal parts that go over the top of her upper body armor right at the shoulder. Has some nice metallic sculpt work on the chainmail right here in her under her plated armor on the underneath, and then some sculpted leather straps on both arms. And as you can see, she can go out in a T-pose just fine. Now, this is the first female body that I've ever had, and I think it's based on like a slender style body, or what they call a 2.0 style body. I could be wrong. And then moving down to the lower part of the arm, she does have some darker. It's like the armor gets darker as it moves down. She does have this extra bit of armor connected to her elbow, and this is very soft and rubbery, so this isn't going to poke you at all. But her gauntlet armor is very hard and very pokey, so you do want to be careful there. Her lower leg body armor that hangs off the sides here, I don't know if this is called greaves, part of the greaves right here, is also very soft and rubbery and pliable. And you do have some nice plating work and chainmail work on the legs down below, and that looks really nice. And of course, just like up above, as you get lower, the armor and the boots, the shin guards and the boots get darker as you move down. So that's some nice attention to like paintwork and detail. I like that. I like that a lot. So let's see here. Turning around here on the back, you can see where you could plug in her shoulder armor and then the adapter, and then you can see some of the nice chainmail work at the thigh and the knee as well. So, you know, Mythic Legions figures change drastically when you add the shoulder armor. It just changes the whole profile of the figure. So let's go ahead and add her shoulder armor now and see what that looks like. There we go. And you can either push that shoulder armor down kind of flush with her shoulders like that, or you can raise them up and have her be a little more broader and have them poke out a little bit longer on each side. And I think that looks really nice. I think I maybe prefer them being down that far. And of course, if you do have other female heads, you could pop her helmet off and swap her head out with another head. I think that would look pretty cool. So I do have a female head in the All Stars wave head pack. So we'll be taking a look at, when we look at that, we'll pop the head off and see how that goes. If you wanted to add any of these belts, you could do so in any number of ways, either, you know, adding them across like her arms like this. Oh, you know what? It would probably be much easier if I just take her head off, put this armor over the arm. Maybe put it over that shoulder. Tuck it under. Yeah, that looks kind of cool. I think we may leave that on for right now. I like the way that looks. And there you have it. There she is with her shoulder pads on and an extra belt. I think she looks pretty nice. Now, like I said before, this is the first female figure I have for Mythic Legions. So let's bring in a couple of other figures just to see how they scale. So if you have a smaller, like a dwarf, or if you have, you know, like any of the goblin figures or warrior, then they're going to be a touch smaller than her. Then you can bring in like a regular sized character, just your, you know, standard size, like this orc here, and you know, he's going to be a little bit taller than her. And then of course, sporting the same weapon as her, you bring in a taller figure with like the cloven feet and like horns and a bigger head, and then of course you get a much taller looking figure there. So that's how she scales within the Mythic Legions line. Let's see how she scales with some other lines. Just because I happen to have her out, and we're going to be looking at her this week. Here she is standing next to a G.I. Joe Classified Series cover girl. And of course their G.I. Joe skews a little bit taller than these figures, but you have a smaller like female figure there. Here she is next to a Star Wars Black Series figure, Luke Skywalker, and that's how she scales up against those two. And then here she is next to a Hasbro Spider-Man, which she's right in line with, and a little bit shorter than Indiana Jones here. So that's how she scales with some other figure lines that you may have extra figures with. So let's get her under some lighting, get her posed up, get her kitted out with all of her weapons, and let's see how she poses. Man, I really dig this figure. I really like having a female figure in my lineup. You know, good or bad, that doesn't really matter to me. I like the way she looks. I like all of her armor. I like all the stuff she's kitted out with. You know, you have so many extra weapons, you know, that come with your Mythic Legions figures. So if you wanted to give her a sword or an axe or anything like that, or a short dagger, you certainly could if you have, you know, some spares laying around. But I think she looks great. I think she poses very well, and she's got some really good shelf presence. So I can't wait to maybe get another head or two on her when we get that head pack out and see how that works out with her. I think that'll be kind of cool, and maybe get some other female figures down the line and pop those heads on and see how she works out. So thank you guys so much for tuning into this review. I super appreciate it. Thanks for all the new likes and subscribes you guys are giving me. It really means so much to me and this channel. Please check us out over at the Instagram.com/Saturday Morning Toy Collector. And this has been the Saturday Morning Toy Collector. I'm your host, Mark, and remember, I will see you in the toy aisles.